Build your machine. Build the most powerful listing machine on earth. And in doing that, it starts with your schedule. If you want to build a listing machine, this is our elite schedule. This is what an elite performer looks like every single day. So I'm up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm going through my morning mastery program, right? I'm doing my meditation, my affirmations, my sales conversation practice. I'm doing 2 notes of gratitude, my exercise, my reading, and my YouTube watching to learn from other pros out there. That's my mastery experience. If you want to know more about mastery, go to our YouTube page. We have an entire video on how to complete the mastery program. Then from 6:30 to 7, I'm getting ready. And now I get it. Don't be like, well, I can't do that. I have kids. I understand your schedule might change vary, but get something down like this. Do you even have a schedule? If it's not this one, type up a one that looks like it, that works for you, that's similar. But are you following a schedule? But Brendan, I got into real estate for freedom. How's that paying you? Stop living in chaos. 7:30 to 7:45, I'm going to review my sales conversations. I'm going to make sure that I'm calling people in a TCPA manner. And then from there, in order, I'm going to start lighting up the phones or lighting up doors. Then I'm going to do that until noon because it takes that amount of time. Now, some of you might be 2 hours. You got to warm up. Don't freak out and go, man, I'm going to lead gen for 4 hours a day. Yeah, if you want to make $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million, yes. Every hour less that you lead gen, just disseminate down to how much less you're going to make every single year. That's the easiest way to think about it. But if you build this muscle and you understand that when you're consistently doing 3 to 4 hours of listing lead gen and that you're starting making so much money, maybe here's what you do. You only do it 3 days a week. So now you have a 3-day work week, 4 days to do whatever you want, but you're just real serious on those 3 days. It's all up to you. Are you a sprinter or a marathon runner? You can design this however you want, but it's got to be a regiment. It's got to be a routine. As we see down there, a goal without a routine is just a dream. And a lot of us are dreaming right now. Then role play, I've got to practice. So now I just went out and used all my best stuff. I now need to go back and go, I got stuck on this. Ooh, that one, I got lit up on that one. I need a role play partner or a company or a team that has role play, or I need to start my own role play group. Then 1 to 2, I'm going to take all of this data. Now, if you're me, here's what I warn you. Do not, when you're building this machine, when you get off of a successful call and they're like, yeah, we're going to be ready in 6 months, just write all your notes on a piece of paper and keep going. What the average does is they stop there immediately, get so excited, and they start doing all this stuff in the database, and you lose your momentum, you lose your rhythm. Write all your notes down, keep them really clear, unless you can type at 90 miles an hour while you're on the phone with the person. I can't do that. And then I'm on to the next call. I'm on to the next call. I'm on to the next door, whatever it is that your style is. Okay. Then from 2 to 6, you're going to be on appointments. And believe me, you're going to start having a lot of appointments. Or if for that random day that you don't, continue to lead gen until you set another appointment. Okay. So we talked about this yesterday. You have 2 jobs every single day. Set 1 listing appointment and make somebody in your database feel special. Set 1 listing appointment, make somebody in your database feel special. You do those 2 things 5 days a week, 40 some odd weeks out of the year, you will be extremely wealthy. Guaranteed. Okay, so build that machine from that mindset. Then you got to maximize the conversation. If you're going to call someone, now you have to have a structure of when they say yes or maybe or interested to ask all the right questions so you're not having to spitball. So we have a seller profile and a buyer profile. Well, we're just going to give you the seller profile because we're talking listing leads today, right? Seller profile. These are the things I'm trying to identify that I need to know for the future, especially if I set the appointment, to go to the appointment and be successful. So if I know my goal this week is to set 5 listing appointments, I'm going to have 5 of these printed out, sitting on my desk and staring at me every day going, you got to get rid of me to hit your goals. You have to get me completed to reach your goal. So be smart about this. Be serious about it. Are these printed out and ready to rock and roll for when you are ready to hit those appointments? And then always set a follow-up and always, of course, provide value. Now, whether you're using Command or a different database or whatever database you're proud of, we got to take detailed notes, aggregate the system, and then send value. Whether that's a handwritten note card, a market analysis, a market stats, whether that's a invite to your client appreciation event, whether that's an invite to your seller seminar, whether that's whatever it is that you're going to provide for value, we've got to get them receiving things to stay top of mind all the time so we can build that relationship. All we do is provide value, provide education, provide all of these pieces so that when that time comes, I'm ready to help you sell your house. And then the last thing, leverage the data, right? Use your CRM to aggregate the information to see who's the most interested. Now, if you're not using Fellow, maybe your database isn't big enough for Fellow yet, but it's a listing aggregate data system from Ryan Young, a great Keller Williams agent. Shout out to Ryan, right? We have tools, we have things that can do this, that can tell us who's interested, who's looking at our emails, who's opening things, who has the highest propensity score right now to actually do something based on what they owe, how long they've lived there. All of this data is at our fingertips. But if every day we're going, I'm supposed to call these 5 people because they were the next 5 in line, that is not going to serve you. Focus on the people that are doing the right things to look at and know, hey, this person's interested. Let me focus on them, what we call a hot. All right? So pro tips. You want to have unlimited listing appointments? Work when your competition won't. Nights and weekends. You want to call expireds or for sale by owners? Call Saturday and Sunday when 99% of your competition won't do it. If you want to connect with more people on a rent by owner basis, if they're renting a property, they might be at work during the day. Are you in a position to call them at 6:30 at night? Can you do a 30, 40-minute call session twice a week, 3 times a week from 6 to 7 p.m., 7 to 8 p.m.? Remember, no matter when you set an appointment, do everything in your capacity to never set that appointment before 12 o'clock. Because that way, the next time you do, you're giving up your lead generation opportunity to keep this pace for the next day. Create weekly carrots and sticks. So when I hit my conversation goal by Thursday at 3 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., I get to go snowboarding or mountain biking on Friday, or whatever it is that you're into, or wherever it is that you live. I get to walk the dog. I get to get a pedicure, a manicure, a massage, whatever it is that your jam is. And then your stick, if I don't hit my numbers by X time, then the pain is I've got to go door knock 50 doors on Saturday. And my family knows this. So they're all rooting for me going, Mom, why are you walking around and not on the phone? So I'd really like to see you take us to Legoland on Saturday instead of having to go door knock because you didn't do your job all week. And then never skip practice, right? Never skip leg day, right? We got to hit the hard stuff. It sucks. The next day you can't barely sit down. It's painful, but we got to get that work in, all right? So remember, we have a formula. Do you have a formula and are you utilizing the formula, right? That's all we're thinking about is building that every single time.